A lot can happen in a year, especially when viewed within the sphere of live service. At times, a year can feel like it can go on forever, but upon looking back, several years pass within the blink of an eye. Such is the consideration of Gran Turismo 7, Polyphony Digital's latest mainline title in its successful driving sim franchise. Even if 3 years feels like a drop compared to other games that received post-launch support, it's still going strong, still delivering excellent content, and perhaps most importantly, still the king of racing sims. Not that it was an easy crown to attain, especially at the start. Launching in March 2022, a week after Elden Ring, it nevertheless had great success, with its launch month being the highest grossing in franchise history. It even ranked second in sales charts for that month. Critical praise was also strong across the board, and Sony seemed poised for another first-party hit. That is, until a patch released shortly post-launch increased the amount of grinding required and made the microtransactions stick out all the more. Granted, there were other issues. Being always online to access the majority of content, which became problematic during a 30-hour-long server maintenance stint, and the lack of a proper career mode chief among them. But the grinding, for lack of a better term, ground many players' gears. Thankfully, Polyphony Digital addressed progression issues in the coming month, increasing rewards in later world circuits and online races, while adding new endurance race events and high rewards for circuit experience. Polyphony committed to new courses, cars, world circuit events, sport time trials, and much more at the time. What we didn't expect is how extensive that support would be. While there were various adjustments, bug fixes, 64 songs for music replay, and the promised reward adjustments, the real content began to drop in June 2022. 3 new cars, the Suzuki V6 Escudo Pikes Peak Special 98, Suzuki Vision Gran Turismo GR3 version, and the legendary 1932 Ford Roadster were added to the game alongside Watkins Glen International. At the time, it probably didn't seem like much, especially after the controversies, but it kickstarted a near monthly cadence of updates ongoing to this day. 3 more cars dropped in July 2022. The Nissan Skyline Super Silhouette Group 5 84, Maserati A6 GCS 53 Spider 54, and Porsche 918 Spider 13. 3 more big vehicles, each catering to different enthusiasts. The August 2022 update expanded the selection even more with the McLaren MP4 488 for Formula 1 enthusiasts, the Pontiac GTO 69 for muscle car fans, and the Porsche Cayman GT4 16, and even the luxurious De Tomaso Mangusta Christian Dior. The update also marked the first time new layouts were added to existing tracks, starting with the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, as players could choose between Rallycross, No Chicane, substituting the final corner for a speedier right turn, and the national layout. In September 2022, even more new cars followed, including the prototype Volkswagen IDR 19, Nissan Silvia K's Type S S1494, and the sleek Porsche Vision Gran Turismo Spider. The free car offering slowly but surely began to ramp up in October with 4 new additions: the Maserati Maverick SS80, Mazda Roadster NRA Indy 22, and the Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR KPG C110 73, and GTR Nismo GT3 18. November only featured 3 new vehicles by comparison, including the BMW M2 Competition 18, Ford Sierra RS 500 Cosworth 87, and Nissan Silvia K's Aero S14 96. But it also added the Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta race circuit, the home of the Petit Le Mans. However, it also marked the arrival of one of the most requested features since launch: the ability to sell cars. Polyphony ended the year on a strong note with 5 more vehicles: the Ferrari Vision Gran Turismo, Alfa Romeo Giulia GTA M20, Bugatti Chiron 16, Chevrolet Corvette C8 Stingray 20, and Toyota Celica GT4 Rally Car ST205 95. 2023 marked the title's first anniversary. However, a free update adding PlayStation VR2 support went live in February, supporting all modes, races, and split screen alongside a VR showroom to check out all of the cars up close. It also marked the arrival of GT Sophy, which debuted in Gran Turismo Sport but was never available for the wider player base. That changed with GT7's limited time event, Race Together, allowing players to race against the racing AI on 4 tracks. It would end later in March, but that wouldn't be the last we saw of Sophy. Outside of this, the February 2023 update saw the addition of the classic Grand Valley, notably its Highway 1 layout and 5 new vehicles: the Honda RA272-65, the Ital Design Exino Vision Gran Turismo Street and Off-Road mode, Citroen's DS21 Palace 70, and the Porsche 911 Carrera RS 901 73. While it didn't release an update on the exact anniversary of the launch, Polyphony's March 2023 update brought 5 new vehicles, 120 FPS support on PS5, and best of all, 2 new Nürburgring layouts. April followed with 4 more cars, including the Dallara SF23 Toyota 23 and Honda 23, accompanied by the new Super Formula race type in World Circuits. 3 more vehicles arrived in May, including the Nissan GT-R Nismo R3290, alongside another long-promised feature, engine swap. Those at collector level 50 with GT Auto could now change the engines for select vehicles. The tuning shop received a new category called Ultimate, which adds more rare parts, further expanding the customization and tuning. June was a relatively more innocuous update, but still significant, adding the Aston Martin Valkyrie 21 and 2 rally cars, the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 3 GSR 95 and the Subaru Impreza sedan WRX STI 04. 4 new events also went live across world circuits, like Fisherman's Ranch and Autopolis, while Music Rally saw 6 new additions to its roster. And if all of that wasn't enough, you could engage in new conversations with select characters in GT Cafe for specific vehicles, access a new Fanatic section in the museum, and play with 6 new engine swaps. July saw no updates as Polyphony focused on competitive events such as the Manufacturers Cup, the Porsche Esports Challenge USA, and the Toyota Gazoo Racing GT Cup. Things picked back up in August with the release of the Gran Turismo movie. While not the most critically acclaimed by a long shot, it allowed players to claim the GTR Nismo GT318 and its film-exclusive livery until late September in-game. This was in addition to 4 more vehicles, including the first ambulance, the Toyota Ambulance High Medic 21, and the Toyota GR Corolla Morizo Edition 22, which didn't require spending any credits if took part in any round of the TGR Cup. September was on the smaller side with only 3 new vehicles, while October saw a single fix for an application error in daily races and championship races. However, that's only because it was readying for a major drop in November. Say hello to Spec 2, which added a whopping 7 new cars like the Dodge Charger RT 426 Hemi 68, the Mercedes-Benz 190e 2.5 16 Evolution 2 91, and the Porsche 911 GT3 RS 992 22. Lake Louise served as the newest circuit, offering 3 layouts, each with icy roads requiring snow tires. 5 new regular race events and 2 new expert races were also introduced. Quality of life features included the event directory for bringing up available events, depending on your settings of course, and the dashboard to view every aspect of progression from the main menu. The weekly challenge brought a new series of events to complete with special rewards while GT Sophy returned, this time permanently. You can now compete against it in Quick Race, formerly Arcade Race, complete 50 new expert challenges for the new Master license, engage in 4-player split screen play on PS5, and much more. Given the update's size, it made sense that December was bare. Polyphony did host some login campaigns with daily rewards and special car tickets to thank fans for their support of Gran Turismo Sport, whose online services would end in January of 2024. Of course, the month saw the return of monthly updates, including 3 new vehicles: the Genesis X Gran Berlinetta Vision Gran Turismo Concept, Bulgari Aluminum Vision Gran Turismo, and Suzuki Jimny XC18, an all-terrain vehicle. The Jimny Cup was also available as a new event, and the new Vision Gran Turismo trophy races were playable on Tokyo Expressway and Autodromo Nazionale Monza. Till June 2024, which saw no update, Polyphony Digital added 14 new vehicles, including the Skoda Vision Gran Turismo, a Gran Turismo exclusive vehicle, and new World Circuit events. It's also worth pointing out that GT Cafe, which served as the de facto career mode as players collected vehicles and completed tasks while learning more about each manufacturer, also received updates. On top of the base 39, there were 11 post-ending bonus books that segued into World Circuit events and would award vehicles or roulette tickets for random cars and parts alongside credits. You could also participate in 40 extra books, which could be completed upon reaching the required collector level, and awarded vehicles and even more roulette tickets. Of course, it also expanded on Scapes with dozens of new locations for players to photograph their cars. July 2024 introduced 6 new vehicles, including the Ferrari 430 Scuderia 07, Lamborghini Gallardo LP 564 08, and Subaru Impreza Rally Car 98, alongside the classic Eiger Nord1 circuit. The physics model also saw a big update, resulting in improved tire response, weight shifting in corners, tire heating, and tire wear also became even more realistic. The next content update arrived in October, the largest gap to date, and added 3 new cars, 5 World Circuit events, 2 additional tracks for GT Sophy, more new character conversations, and 10 new engine swaps. However, November saw the arrival of PS5 Pro support, which added ray-traced reflections, 8K resolution support, improved VR mode quality, and a new mode leveraging PSSR that offered a high frame rate with better image quality. 5 new cars, 3 new World Circuit events, additional engine swaps, new wheels for 3 brands, and additional brand decals were also made available. Thus far, 2025 has seen the exceptional support continue with 14 new cars added up to May, more World Circuits, GT Cafe menus, Scapes, and tracks to compete against GT Sophy. It's been a long journey, and while it could stand to improve in some areas, Gran Turismo 7 is a much different beast than when it launched in terms of content and gameplay, and arguably the best modern racing sim. Even if it has a heavy legacy to live up to, we're excited to see where Polyphony Digital takes it next. And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.